What is up, people? WWE News back at you with another video, and you can see at the title of this video I'm going to be talking about WrestleMania 30. Ever since 2012, when this channel opened up, I have been talking about WrestleMania 30, and this year will be a type of WrestleMania 30 podcast and kind of a prediction video, but more elaborate with listener questions towards the end. So let's not waste any time here. I'm going to be talking about the WWE Network and why Dish Network screwed me over. And right now it is currently almost 7 o'clock, and I am just kicking back, relaxing, and having a good time doing this podcast. I got a Mountain Dew over here, my phone. I know you guys can't, I'm not going to unfreeze the screen there, but there is your WrestleMania event. It'll be Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista. That's the one I'm going to go with, but I decided to leave Batista out of this because the image decided to crop him out, I guess. I have no idea why that's out. You would think so. Alright, so this is the first pay-per-view on the WWE Network, and hopefully it goes off without a hitch. A lot of you guys are basically saying, you know, that you guys obviously know, and I've gotten tweets about this. You guys can follow me at Seth Hockey. The link will be in the description box below. And you know, a lot of you guys are saying, you know, this is gonna be a fail. Why are you buying the network? You know, why did you buy the network? And for me, it wasn't so much the pay-per-views, even though that it was worth the pay-per-view. And to be honest with you guys, the reason why we got the WWE Network was not just because of the pay-per-views, because we get every pay-per-view every year, we get all 12, and they're about, I don't know, 45 bucks, 50 bucks, and then WrestleMania is like 75 on top of that. So times that by 11, and then times that by 12. Is that right? I don't think that's right, but you guys can do the math and tell me how much that is. It's roughly around like $350. Before we actually ordered the network, my mom kind of did the math, and I'm just trying to leeway without this. But the reason why we got the network was because Dish Network screwed us and basically said we're not carrying WWE pay-per-views anymore because of the network, and that's why we got the network. And then just announced on Saturday they will be carrying the network, because now they finally realized, oh shit, not everybody has a the money, or the 6-month commitment, as their WWE's calling it, to pay $9.99 a month. And believe me, this is coming out of my paycheck that I get on here, even though I don't get really paid a lot. Alright, boys, let's get into this, and this is gonna be a pretty long prediction video. Alright, so enough of me rambling about the WWE Network. Let's get into this. We have Randy Orton versus Batista versus Triple H or Daniel Bryan. I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan on this one, but here I'm going to give you, alright, so I'm going to give you two possible situations. I'm going to give you first my prediction on what's going to happen, and then what possibly could happen besides that. So basically two chances. Alright, here we go. So obviously my first choice will obviously be Daniel Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania, and then basically saying, you know, he's going to win it. He's going to beat Triple H. That's the next match. I should get into the first match. So the first match to see who gets in the main event with Randy Orton and Batista is a match between Daniel Bryan and Triple H. And basically, I think Daniel Bryan will win this. He returned on Raw this week, and it was pretty good, as a matter of fact. You know, Daniel Bryan, who shocked us all after not being on Raw. And back in the day, you know, somebody receives a beating like that with handcuffs, they'd be out for 1 month or 2 months. But I guess WWE, it's called entertainment now, and they don't play the kayfabe quite a bit. You guys watch the ECW Rise, I don't know, I forget what it's called. I got it the other day, but I think it's the ECW Unreleased Volume 1. I'll pull it up for you guys. I'll leave something there. But anyway, Paul Heyman was talking about this, and Paul Heyman goes, Sandman basically played it off like he was blind for a month, and then didn't leave his house, told his wife that, you know, I gotta play kayfabe, and pretend like I'm blind. And he didn't come back for a month, and then he hit Tommy Dreamer with a kendo stick. So there's that right there. Speak of the devil, there you go. So there's just a little real life example what happened, and that I honestly think that WWE couldn't pull that off anymore because there's so many fans that like Daniel Bryan. There's so many fans that like the John Cena's, and you obviously knew it was kayfabe. You obviously know it's just to build up buy rates and just to build up their match at WrestleMania. So Daniel Bryan beats Triple H. That's my first possibility here. So it'll be Randy Orton versus Batista versus Daniel Bryan. And winning that triple threat will be Daniel Bryan. Now my second choice here. Some of the choices I won't have a second choice. Like the... actually no, I won't give it away. But my second choice will probably be... Triple H beating Daniel Bryan. So it'll be Randy Orton versus Batista versus Triple H. They get in there, and it's heel versus heel versus heel. Daniel Bryan gets pissed off, screws over Triple H, enters himself into the match, and he still wins that. So really, that's not a second. Well, it kind of is a second kind of opportunity, but anyway. Next match is Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar to the Streak versus The Beast. And in my opinion, I think this will be the match of WrestleMania. There's another one that I think will be the match of WrestleMania, but I honestly think this will be the match of WrestleMania. So there you go. It should be really fun. Should be a good time here. I think Undertaker will win. His streak will continue. And for all the reports that Sting is coming back to WWE, yes, there has been some type of confirmation type deal. But I honestly think that next year it'll be Sting versus Undertaker. And if you guys listen to the Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle show, if you guys hate them or love them or just don't care for them, or anyway, Don Tony was talking the other day about how, you know, you have Undertaker versus Sting next year, but Sting will come back the night after WrestleMania. So WrestleMania Sunday, he'll come back on Monday, screw over Undertaker with a celebration, come down with the baseball bat, and he'll be hanging from the rafters like Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. So there you go. So honestly, I honestly see Undertaker winning this match. But back to the Don Tony thing here. Don Tony and Kevin Castle. So Don Tony basically said, you know, a lot of fans are sending questions in about, do you ever see Undertaker versus Sting or whatever? And he goes, no. Because Undertaker's old and he's 48. Sting's 51. That is accurate. Undertaker's 48. Sting's 51. And basically what he said was, really, you want to see these two old men fight like that? And honestly... And then Don Tony interrupted him. He goes, no, it won't happen. But and then Kevin Castle said, he goes, Tony, or something. He said something along those lines. He goes, you don't understand that. WWE is creating revenue and fans want to see the Sting versus Undertaker match. So WWE basically does that so they get more revenue. The fans are happy. Instead of just putting Undertaker versus somebody else that'll just come back for the month or the 3 weeks like Undertaker does. And then basically does a whole bunch of promos, and then basically gets the leeway, he gets paid his 1 month. But I honestly think that either this year or next year will be Undertaker's last match. The guy's up there, he's 48, you know. If he wrestles till he's 50 or past 50, Jesus. This isn't Sting we're talking about, you know. Sting was in TNA, and he still wrestled on a huge... He was like one of their top guys along with Jeff Hardy, but now Jeff Hardy is their top guy in the company with the Willow gimmick. Up next we have John Cena versus Bray Wyatt here. And I want Bray Wyatt to win this match, but I honestly will say John Cena will actually win this match, to be honest with you guys. I honestly see that happening in the I honestly see John Cena happening. And if you guys did not watch Raw, you guys can YouTube this, you guys can Google it. And even if it's probably on the WWE Network or the WWE.com or their YouTube page, John Cena basically, this is one of the coolest moments that John Cena has ever done with a promo. It's awesome. It's great. What he did was he came out with Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, and Bray Wyatt, and did the whole "we're here" type gimmick and did the lamplighter and then did that whole thing. So then John Cena came out with his sheep mask, and he did wear the same outfit that Daniel Bryan wore when he was with the Wyatt family. And honestly, I think the Daniel Bryan and Wyatt family was supposed to work out to WrestleMania, but it never worked. So basically, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. And what happened was John Cena came out to basically what I just said to you guys was he came out with the same clothes as Daniel Bryan, where he was part of the Wyatt family, he had the sheep mask on, and he had like his eyes were glowing like somebody was like trying to suffocate themselves. His eyes were like glowing in the dark. The light, I think the lighting was one of the scene car lighting, and he was basically playing it off like he was joining the Wyatt family. And that whole WrestleMania match will be a 3-minute match where Bray Wyatt basically says, "Lay down your sins, you fool. Rest in your soul." I honestly don't know what he says. I think he says "live in fear" as well. And then he gives him the Sister Abigail and then basically pins him. But that's what it looked like. John Cena was down on the ground and Bray Wyatt did like the Jesus thing that Shawn Michaels does. And then Cena got up and threw Bray Wyatt out. And then Luke Harper no. Before that, they were laying down. John Cena got up. And then Luke Harper out of freaking nowhere just delivers sweet chin music. My God, if he's the guy that's going to break out with potential in the Wyatt family, he's the guy to do that. That's my real gimmick. That's the thing. Bray Wyatt versus John Cena, and Luke Harper is going to interfere in this match somehow, some way, and do the same super kick that John Cena did. He honestly delivered the hell out of that sweet chin music, and his leg was uplifted. Like, my God, it was. Oh my! If you guys have a Facebook, you guys can like the Pro Wrestling World. I think they put the photo up, but it was like sweet chin music, no problem, and it said screw this, I'm Shawn Michaels, and it had Shawn Michaels' face cropped with that super kick, and I honestly had to look back at the Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels thing or whatever, that match that they had at WrestleMania 26 where Shawn Michaels ended Ric Flair's career, and Ric Flair was like crying in the ring, and then Shawn said, "I'm sorry, I love you." That was like the same sweet chin music situation that Luke Harper had, which was really cool. And then basically after that, Bray Wyatt bowed again, like Shawn Michaels with the Jesus. Cena got up, tossed him out of the ring, ripped the clothing. He had his Cena shirt. He threw that in the crowd underneath that. He didn't put it on. He threw it in the crowd. And then he threw a headband on and was pointing at his head. And was like, "Never give up. I'm here. I'm going to fight you at WrestleMania." And that was the end of that segment. We had a backstage segment after that. So I honestly think I did a hell of a lot talking about this. But that's what happens when you get off topic. Next we have the Andre Memorial Battle Royal. What the hell just happened? Ugh, this is freaking stupid. Alright. Anyway, hang on while that is refreshing there. This WrestleMania, in my opinion, will be the WrestleMania to buy. I got a question when I get to the mailbag. Not the mailbag. That's the Solo Monsters. Anyway, here we go. The Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It starts. It's like a generic battle royal. I don't need to do this. Participants are announced: Rey Mysterio, Zack Ryder, Sin Cara, the Great Khali, or Great Khali, I guess that's called now. Now that he's a U.S. citizen, which was a very cool video that WWE put out. He's speaking in this Pujali language. That's what they called it. I know it's not that. Darren Young, No Days Off, Brodus Clay, Justin Gabriel, R-Truth, Santino Marella, Mark Henry, Kofi Kingston, Christian, Cody Rhodes, Goldust, Sheamus, Jinder Mahal, Alberto Del Rio, Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, Fandango, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, Titus O'Neil, Big Biggie, Now he's just called Big E. And Alexander Rusev Omasia. Rusev. CFO did a really nice job with his theme song. I will say that. My first pick will be Alexander Rusev. You know, he proved himself with Alana. He got a shitty promo on Monday Night Raw. It was pretty good. And it was just bad. And I say pretty good a lot when I mean that, but it was bad. It was so bad that Great Khali cuts a big promo. Remember when Great Khali did the Kiss Cam there? When he brought in a whole bunch of people? And then I think they grabbed people from the crowd. I honestly don't know if that was staged or not. But I will say, though, that was like, him doing that was better than Rusev's promo. I mean, my God, that guy needs to learn some some mic skills. My second pick for this is kind of hard. Because you got Zack Ryder who won't win it, Sin Cara won't win it, Great Khali possibly might win it. But I'm going to have to go with my top three that could win it. Rusev, Ziggler, Sandow, and I'm going to throw in a fourth one, The Miz. There you go. All these guys can win it, but I'm still going with Rusev. I know he's not on the list. He was announced on Monday Night Raw, and if you listen to the Solo Monster podcast, he said it, and there you go. That's going to be the match that's probably going to be on the pre-show. There's going to be a couple that are on the pre-show, that's for sure. And oh, by the way, before I get into the next segments, the Legends of Roundhouse Wrestling, the stuff that was on the 24/7 network that they had before the WWE network, those were all on the 24/7 WWE thing. They were pretty good. If you have the time and you have the network and you were just lounging around, those are pretty good. They only have 4 up there. There's one from 08, 07, I think maybe 2006. I know Taz is on there, so that's going to be 05. And then there's one recently from 2 or 3 years ago, either 2011 or 2012. It's called the Monday Night Raw. It's based on like the first episode to now episode, and that's when John Cena had the Rise Above Hate gimmick with Eve, and Michael Hayes was controlling most of that. So those are the key things to look out for if you guys are bored and just having fun on the WWE Network. Up next, we have Vicky Guerrero's Divas Championship Invitational. The rules are not totally clear yet. You don't know. Although there are 14 divas: Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, Eva Marie, Naomi, AJ Lee, Tamina, Summer Rae, JoJo is in there. Natalia, everybody from Total Divas is on there. And it's like the non-total and the Total Divas crap that they do on Monday Night Raw that they think was going to be a huge success. Around Christmas time they did Nice Santas versus Naughty Santas. It was dumb. It was just a time filler. And I honestly have to go. There's 2 situations that could happen here. Brie Bella wins the WWE Divas Championship. She pins AJ Lee for the title. Now hear me out before you're like, what the? Are you kidding me? Come on. So there's that situation right there. The next possibility that could happen is WWE AJ loses again her title, but loses it to Naomi, and that sets up a Naomi versus Nikki Bella feud, or excuse me, Brie Bella feud. Now, I honestly will say, let's say Naomi goes for the pin, and then Brie rips her off, does some twin magic on Nikki Bella, so that way Brie Bella wins the title, but then Naomi blames it on Nikki, but then Brie and Nikki's excuse is it's every man or every woman for themselves. So there's where they could go with that. That's my prediction, and that sets up a Total Divas reality fixed show. For those of you who don't know, Total Divas is fixed. Natalia granted a wish with Summer Rae a while back. Summer Rae did a thing with Fandango. There was this guy, I think he was like 7 or 8, maybe 6, who did the do when Fandango had that thing. He still rolls with it. It was sometime around WrestleMania. Gave him a foam finger. Summer Rae gave him one of her dresses. So yeah, it's a reality fixed show, but aren't all reality shows fixed? Like the Keeping Up with the Kardashians? At least on E, every reality show on E is fixed. Eva Marie and Jonathan, they're really married. Their whole family knows about it. It's obvious. Up next, we have the Usos versus Ryback. For those of you who don't know, it's Curtis Axel and Ryback versus Los Metaderos and the Real Americans. Obviously, Usos are going to win. It's not like Real Americans. But I will say, Real Americans, they're going to break up here at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn gets the call from the minor leagues. He gets called up from NXT, and it will be Cesaro versus Sami Zayn. It'll carry the feud up that they had with NXT. You know that NXT is on the WWE Network. WWE can do a lot of it, and then fans can relate that actually have the network, Dish Network. Those people that have the network know that Sami Zayn and Cesaro are feuding. For those of you who actually do watch NXT, and NXT is some good wrestling to check out. Their Invitational, or their first one they had, that 2-hour special, that was one hell of a show. And then their editing cut that was like 46 minutes, they left out some stuff. And the way they did it was so perfectly edited that they edited out Sami Zayn and Cesaro's thing. And I watched both shows. And Sami Zayn was going on Cesaro. And basically they were fighting, and then Cesaro hit an uppercut, and then basically both, they like went in the corner. But the way it was like Cesaro had an uppercut on Sami Zayn, and then Sami Zayn had a punch, and then like they edited back, but then they had like him like backing up in the corner, which I knew it wasn't the right spot because I watched both things. Up next, we have the Shield versus Kane and the New Age Outlaws. This does not look great on paper. It does not. I mean, obviously, you know, maybe I hope the Shield will not break up. You know, it's the situation where you keep one, you fire one, and you jobber one. Or no, keep one, fire one, and push them. The keep one, there's just like a mid-carter job type deal. Push one, obviously, is that, and then fire. But I honestly will say, Roman Reigns, he's going to get the push. Dean Ambrose gets fired. And then Seth Rollins gets the mid-carter. That's the way it's going to go. Anyway, let's break down this match. If it was a keep, fire, push. I honestly don't think the Shield should break up here. They're too good of a thing. And they're really good. I'm pumped for WrestleMania. I hope it doesn't break on the network. But I honestly will say how does that make sense? You have the Shield versus Kane versus the New Age Outlaws. So it's 3v1, and then V2. So Shield 3, Kane 1, Outlaws 2. So what is this, like a... It's not a fatal 4-way, because 3, 2 is 5, and Kane 6. So New Age Outlaws, if this is going to be a tag team, New Age Outlaws have to find another partner, and Kane has to find 2 partners. That'll be on the pre-show, because that is not going to fly on the card. I hope that match gets cut, because that makes no sense. They're not going to... There's one match they cut, it's that match, and then they're also probably going to cut the Usos, Ryback, Los Metaderos, and Real Americans. Those are the 2 shows that will be on the 2-hour pre-show. Yes, there's a 2-hour pre-show Sunday night. The pre-show starts at 5. WrestleMania officially doesn't start till 7. The pre-show on the network starts at 5. The normal WrestleMania pre-show starts at 6. On YouTube channel, the WWE app, and I think that's it. The app, their website, and the network. Now here's the thing I don't get. You have the network now, and they're having 2-hour pre-show for WrestleMania. The 2-hour pre-show at WrestleMania. I mean, come on. Do you really need 2 hours of breaking down matches with Scott Stanford, Josh Matthews, and the panel. You know, Mick Foley's going to be there. I'm sure Jake the Snake Roberts will be there after he's getting inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. I know Scott Hall, a.k.a. Razor Ramon, for those who are trying to keep it Hall of Fame. I know I'm going to get one comment on that one. One comment, I'll get a tweet or a direct message. It's Razor Ramon that's getting inducted, not Scott Hall. Come on. And you have also, I mean, really, it's disappointing that they didn't put Razor Ramon as Scott Hall, but I'll go back to that when I get to the questions. Back to the 2-hour and 1-hour pre-show. WWE has done the pre-shows at 6 o'clock always, especially for the compute on WWE.com that you can go through to your mobile device, on your computer, on your Xbox. There was a normal app for that. I don't know if they got rid of it. I don't think there is. I'm sure if you still had the WWE app, you could still use it. There's a network app as well under Movies and TV for PS3 and on the Xbox. But anyway, I mean, it's used to be a 6 to 7 hour pre-show. You'd have the match, and then you've had the panel. But last year they had the commentators, Michael Cole, Josh Matthews, and Jerry the King Lawler. Matthews got booted, and I can't remember who they brought on. I know Jim Ross did the Undertaker match. I wonder who's going to do the Undertaker match this year. Now that Jim Ross is signed with Fox Sports, and he got booted because of the 2K panel. God, I don't want to talk about that, unless somebody actually leaves a question about that. That'll happen. Anyway, you know, they had the 1-hour pre-show last year, but really, you really need a 2-hour pre-show. You need the network special at 5 to 7, but you need the network, and then you get a 1-hour pre-show on the WWE app for your phone if you don't have that. But the thing is they should have a separate app for the phone for the WWE network, so people actually know that. And you know what would really piss me off? If WWE just leaves, like, does the 2-hour pre-show on that would blow my mind. That would be stupid if they did that. Anyway, so I mean, do you really need a 2-hour pre-show? There's gonna be what, 2 matches on there probably. One of them is not gonna be shown in the first hour, because there's no way they're gonna do 2 matches in an hour pre-show. There's no way. Usually they're like 50. Maybe they will. They're usually like 17 minutes with the entrances by the time they do all their jobbering, they get into the ring. So 17 plus 17 is around, I don't know, 34 minutes? Something around there. I'm not sure. Hang on. So, I mean, really, you could do that, but what? You're going to leave the network people that pay 99, that's 34 minutes. So you leave the network, you're going to leave the network people with no sense whatsoever? You're just gonna leave the 2 matches that people are not paying for, just the normal pre-show at 6 o'clock? So there's got to be one of those matches that are on the pre-show at 5. I hope that the first hour is a match and then a rundown, second hour is a match and a rundown. Because if they just do the matches at the 6 o'clock hour, that's not fair to the people that paid the network, that's paid $99 a month, and that is not fair to the people that are just watching the pre-show on their computer. That makes no sense. Time for the questions. If you guys have a question, you can comment down below in this video. Email me at sgf2012-2019@gmail.com, or you can tweet me the questions at Seth Hockey. No Facebook setup yet. And I almost used my other Facebook. Damn it. Alright, this first question comes from Eric. Do you see Ryback and Curtis Axel sometimes feuding? No, I don't see them feuding at all. I don't. Sorry. It's just something that will not happen ever. I have something in my microphone. Just something that won't happen ever. I honestly think they'll just break them up, and then they will fire Ryback and either release or put Curtis Axel down in developmental, or just leave him up as a mid-carder and not push him. This one comes from Jason. Do you ever see Zack Ryder becoming world champ ever again? No, I do not. That's it. That's over. And I tell you what, Zack Ryder fans, once he won the title, the U.S. title, that was it. He got his moment at TLC 2012. He was on the table with his dad and Chia Petta and the Big O. Surprised WWE didn't sign a Big O. Maybe they did at one point. I think they did at one point. I know TNA was looking at him with the gut check challenge. But honestly, that's it. This one comes from Dan. Do you ever see New Age Outlaws? Okay, before I get into this question. New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg is 50. I think Billy Gunn is 48. Anyone that wants to comment down below, leave that in the chat room, please. Billy Gunn, hang on, I'm looking up his age right now. Now, I'm not gonna say the question because, hang on, Billy Gunn is 50. Okay, so Billy Gunn is 50, and I mixed them up. I meant to. All right, and Road Dogg is. Road Dogg. Hang on. Alright, so Road Dogg. Why the hell is it not sorry? His age? Alright, so Road Dogg's 44. Billy Gunn is 50. Now, here's what Dan had to say. You ever see Road Dogg or Billy Gunn becoming WWE champion or in one contender ever again before they retire? No. I'll tell you what, though. Billy Gunn is one hell of a shape for being 50. I didn't even know he was 50. I just was listening to one of the wrestling podcasts I listened to, and he basically said, "Oh, come on, you honestly think that he's 50?" And yeah, so there you go. This one comes from Phil. Do you ever see great potential in Fandango once he breaks and goes down to developmental? Didn't he serve like 3 years in developmental in NXT? I know he was Johnny Curtis and they repackaged him. And there was this guy on YouTube that was like, he used to do like rants. I can't remember his name. But he was like a rant against Johnny Curtis haters and this and that. Do you not know that his name is Fandango? I remember like back in 2012 when Lillian Garcia used to announce his name and he wouldn't come to the ring. It was the stupidest crap ever. I mean, come on, the guy gets paid $5. I would love to do that. Go out there, say my name is not pronounced Fandango or Fandango, and you had to say it with the right slur. And now freaking Justin Roberts is like, from so and so weighing 232 pounds, Fandango, and he just comes to the ring. Whatever happened to Fandango? This one comes from Kyle. With the recent rumors of CM Punk and AJ Lee getting engaged, do you ever see Punk coming back to the company to support AJ Lee? I had no idea that AJ Lee and CM Punk were engaged. This must have been breaking news. Happened. This was posted 2 hours ago, so I assume it is breaking. I think it is. Because this was posted 2 hours ago. Hang on. Yeah, there it is. CM Punk and AJ Lee engaged, the question mark. Update to subscribers only to Observer Wrestling Radio. It's not a question anymore, as CM Punk and AJ Lee are officially engaged. For the last several months, the relationship between AJ Lee and CM Punk has well been choreographed and is no longer of the latter part of being a WWE superstar, although AJ Lee has been with their butte in the workplace and is spotted for the key pieces in the Divas division. This time, however, Lee had some offers to feud between fighting her female peers on television with a major event on Life, as WWE captured a revealed ring on AJ's left hand around her ring finger, which leads to the speculation that she is now engaged to CM Punk. To finish this question off, do you really think that CM Punk and AJ Lee are really engaged? After just reading this article by Wrestling Observer Radio by Dave Meltzer, or it might have been Brian Alvarez, that yeah, I do believe that now CM Punk and AJ Lee are engaged. So there goes that question. Alright. That wraps it up for the questions. there's a bunch of questions that I didn't get to. You know, who do you think's gonna win CM Punk versus Bray Wyatt? Just listen to the show. Some other things I wanted to get to, but you know, the network. I had to get the network because WWE screwed, or excuse me, Dish Network screwed me over. But then basically they said, hell with it. You know, we got it. We're good. And now they're showing WrestleMania after all. They finally realized that not everybody can afford a $9.99 a month with a, 6-month commitment. So that wraps it up for this week. At least this pre-show here. I will take your questions. This is getting up. This is available on YouTube, and I have a download not on my YouTube page. If you guys tweet me or whatever and just want to listen to the download, anyway, it's not gonna ruin your battery. I've done it before. Just open up YouTube and just listen to the podcast. Obviously, my face isn't shown, so all you gotta do is just lock your phone or flip it over or put it on the charger, face it face up, and there you go. There's your. But it's a free loop. And my podcast will be back. I will do a WrestleMania post show, and possibly that. I know a couple of friends that are going down to WrestleMania 30. They're flying down tomorrow. And no, it is not Stevie Breach and Assault and Battery 777. They are YouTubers that I do not know. I've just talked to on Twitter. So there you go. That wraps it up for me with the WrestleMania pre-show type deal where I give my full predictions. It's happened ever since 2012 here on this YouTube channel, WWE News Every Day. Take care, guys, and I will see you all when I do my WrestleMania post show.